Hi, this is John from FlatCatGear. What you're looking at is a couple of HX pots from Fire Maple. These are the petrol series. One of the things that HX pots are known for is having higher fuel efficiency than a standard, a regular mug, in the neighborhood of 20 to 30%. With the windscreen, even in high winds, you can get much greater than 50% efficiency over a traditional pot. So the question is, when do you decide to take an HX pot? We're going to explore that a little bit. In exploring that, we're going to set the bar high comparing a traditional mug. And so for our test case, we're going to use this. This is a Toaks 550 mug, and it's coupled with a BRS stove and an Ocelot windscreen. All these are going to be looking at HX pots with windscreens. Side note, these are not the lightest HX pots out in the market. The lightest HX pot is actually a jet boil stash. The jet boil stash, though, performs great in calm conditions, but really has problems about 5 miles an hour, and there is no real windscreen for a jet boil stash. As I said, we set the bar pretty high for a traditional stove. This whole system, the Toaks BRS and the Ocelot, has a total weight of 105 grams, and both these systems are over 200 grams. But what it comes down to is talking about weight. And one of the things we're going to discuss is we're not going to worry about grams, but we're going to worry about ounces, because the key make or break point is whether you have to bring another canister with you. So let's set these systems up with a windscreen, so I'll show you what they look like, and we'll discuss the test results. What we're doing is comparing these three systems, the standard system and two HX pots with a windscreen. Now, windscreen is going to give you the best protection. Now, some of you claim, well, I can go behind a log, I can put them in my backpack or a tent. Not going to be nearly as good as a windscreen. The only time it's going to be better is if you're cooking inside your tent under the vestibule. Because we're running these things, when we talk about running them in the wind, we're running it at 8 miles an hour. So we've got traditional Toaks 550 with a BRS stove and a Ocelot mini windscreen, and comparing it to the petrol. This is the G3, and we're using a G3. We're using the Fire Maple Polaris, and this is the Ocelot for the Polaris stove. And we have over here the Ocelot 6. We're using a Pocket Rocket Deluxe, and we're using the Petrol G2. Now, quick word on testing, because Gear Skeptic has come out with a great series of videos, and the question is, how do we compare to his results? Well, here's a compilation, because one of the issues is he starts out with a different volume and a different water temperature than we do. But if you break it down to fuel efficiency, you can see that we're within 1% of each other. So both test methods are actually pretty accurate. When it comes to testing, we've compiled all the results, and we're taking a look at the focus on weight is how many boils can you get out of a canister. I'm not interested in grams, because you're going to save a few grams here in weight, a few grams or fuel efficiency. The biggest question is, do I have to bring another canister with me? Because a canister weighs 7.2 ounces. That's for the smallest 4-ounce canister. So that's really the make or break. So here I'm going to show you the baseline of, look at a standard stove, a standard pot with the Toaks 550, and you can see we can get about 15 boils out of a canister in calm conditions, and you can see that number drops in half in windy conditions, even with a windscreen. Now here's the compiled results of all three with the petrol pots in these two configurations, and you can see they're substantially different. You can see just in calm conditions, an HX pot will give you a 33% increase in fuel efficiency. In high winds at 8 miles an hour, you can see that it's 100% better. You get twice as much life out of a canister than you can in traditional stoves. Now, that's all well and good, because you can see that number of boils are in the neighborhood of, on a calm day, 15 to 20, and in windy days 7 to 14. The question is, how does that relate to pack weight? So we broke that down to say, broke it down to the number of boils you can get per canister, and we broke it down over a different range of number of boils. So this is what these charts look like, and you can see in calm conditions, it really doesn't matter. For simplicity's sake, you might as well bring a standard mug. There's very little difference between an HX mug and a standard. Now, things get real interesting is when you start including wind. Now, I know wind tunnel testing, we are up at 8 miles an hour. And you can see, even for the first, 7 boils, the differences really show up once you get beyond 7 boils. When you get in the 14 range, you can see a significant difference in pack weight. So the bottom line comes down to is, when's the best time to take an HX pot? The best time is if you're doing, a fair number of boils in the wind. You can see a dramatic increase, and you can see where the weight savings occur. You can actually save, depending on your trip length, several hundred grams by taking an HX pod. So, bottom line answer is, when do you need to bring an HX pod? Well, if you're a solo person, maybe 2 people going for just a weekend trip, doesn't matter, take a traditional pod. It'll work fine. If you're going for a 1-week trip and there's 2 of you and no chance of resupply, you're probably looking much better at an HX pod. Anything over that, or number of boils, if you go 3 people, or if you go more, HX pods are the way to go. So take a look at the data, see how it fits your style of backpacking, and that can help you determine when's the right time to take an HX pod. So come visit us at www.FlatCatGear.com.